Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's October 6th of 2023. I see my dentist my eye doctor in 3 days on the 9th. I've been trying to work with the Verizon thing. Right now, let me see, I can show you that. Let's see, speed. Here we go. I should, beginning a week ago or whatever it was, I was getting 300. Well, this is a little bit better. Nope, it's dropping down again. Okay, this is, I was getting 300, and now it's dropped down to, the top is 100. I was contacted by uh, Verizon, so I think they may have somebody contact me or to figure out what the problem is. Um, uh, what else? The room is a disaster, and two, I had just moved my computer from here over to here, and I liked it. But now that we have now that we have Verizon, I my telephone hardware or whatever that has to use the internet, uh, and so in the last couple of days I played around with different uh, uh, parts of parts of that. So I'm anyway. I moved everything, and I got down on the floor, which hurts like hell. I mean, actually, it hurts a lot. To use ties and get the cables so they're not laying on the floor and that type of stuff. And then I turned right around the next day, or less than the next day, and moved the computer over here. Right over here, right in the corner of this desk, is the door coming into the room. And I've got this thing, which I've never had it before there. I've got it sitting there. And then, by the way, right in the middle of this, yesterday or whatever, uh, for about 2 hours, I was trying to get, now Darlene had, television. So I knew, we had it, coming in, but I couldn't. It would try to find, the domain name or the thing on the list of uh, addresses, and it wouldn't, it couldn't find it. So I'm not too smart. It took me a couple hours. I was like, and Darlene was, well, why don't you do, or blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, that has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. Just, has nothing to do with it. And so finally I was, after about 2 hours and moving some stuff around. And I said, but you're getting it, and I'm not. And what's the difference? And then, wait a minute. I'm doing this on Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. And of course, this is the Wi-Fi device that came on this. I don't think you can even see it. It plugged in there. So I thought maybe so. I ran a cable, bypassing that and going right into it, and then I could connect. But still, it's at 100. Download and 10 up instead of 20 up. So I don't think I've actually ordered. A person here made a recommendation, and I'm for my, and I don't think I've ordered that yet because I've got I got 50 foot of cable coming. I had cable here. I don't have the thing to, you know, and the end got tore off of it, off of the 50-foot cable, or however long that cable was, and it was off. I thought, when I was looking, oh great, I found it, and then on the end was off. So I ordered cable, 50 foot, and it'll be here today. And what I'm going to do is, which I sort of did before, in a way, but I'm going to, by cable, hook into the back of the computer here and run it. Now I won't run it on the floor. Darlene's in a wheelchair, and everything, so I'll run it along the, not, it's not going to look all that great or whatever, but I'll run the cable over to the device, which is now sitting, the Verizon, which is sitting right there, working okay, well, except for the speed and stuff. So I'm going to run that in there, and then, see, it's hooked in by cable, and I'm getting 100, so I expect to get the same. But anyway, I'm going to move it in there, and then also move back the telephone equipment. There's 2 boxes, and there's cable going to the electrical plug-ins, and then there's a cable going into the internet, and then, so I'm going to move all that into the living room. But anyway, yesterday, well, for the last couple of days, but yesterday, I exerted myself more than I should. I'm hurting. I've been hurting all night, and I need to take an naproxen for the pain. Mm-hmm. Damn it. Last night I was in bed, afraid I was going to vomit, and I have a phobia or whatever it is, because I have a couple of times had my airway obstructed by vomit, and it scares the hell out of me. Anyway, I wish that 50 foot would get here early. I purchased this, by the way. It came the other day. Headset, and it's the I think it's the I think they use a different name or something. Wait a minute, or is this? No, here's a new one, yeah. They look very similar. Yeah, this is the new one. So, I may be using a headset. This is working okay, but I have to have it, And so I've got this, but whoops, sorry about that. Still got a problem with the bank. I had somebody hacked into my, they hacked in, I guess. I went to a couple of weeks back or something like that to pay for the Mint cell phone service. And I made a mistake and I went to a website and it looked like it was Mint. And they kept asking me for my username, my password, and a few other bits of information. And like an idiot, I put it in. And then on the screen popped up all kinds of, all kinds of information popped up from me from years ago that they had been somehow they had collected, the Wayback Machine on the internet or something. I don't know how they collected all that information. And so I had to get a new. In fact, they took some money out of my bank. They did three things. Number one, they out of my bank, it took $1.50. And I think first they took $1, and then they took $1.50, and then they took 150, or I think 150 out. Anyway, I canceled the card and have applied for a new bank card, and it's not here yet. I can't pay the rent. All the money is in the bank. A little bit is in PayPal, but not enough to pay the rent. All the money is in the bank, and I can't access it. And the apartment complex here will not take a check. I sort of knew that, but this was like, hey, this is the day that it has to be paid, and I took. Well, I didn't have it. I didn't hold it out, but I said, "Can I pay by check?" I explained, the problem, and I didn't have a bank card. No, we don't take it. And the only thing we take is Quest, some type of, like it's a, what do they call those? Money order. It's a money order company, but they call themselves something else. And I said, oh, okay. And no, you have to, I mean, I can barely walk, 2 blocks. We don't have a car, all this type of stuff. And then Darlene did not want, she said, I don't understand how this works. And I explained to her, okay. And then she kept doing it. Well, it's a money order. And I said, yeah, it's a money order, but they don't call it a money order. Well, can we use? No, you can't use it. That's the only one they will accept. And then she was like, well, why are they being so mean? And I said, they're not. I'm sure, they don't accept money, because if these apartment complexes were accepting money, they'd be held up every time, And then I said, I'm sure somehow somebody has figured out some way to, cheat somehow somebody's being kicked out, say, of their apartment or whatever, and then they say, well, I can't pay, can I do such? And so now they have it down to this thing. So, but I didn't feel like, so I asked the office, I said, because we've never been late with our rent here, ever. Never. Dar's been here 22 years. I've been here 12 years. Both of us, neither one has been, And so I said, what is it, $50 a day? And the lady said, well, it's $50 the first day, then after that, $10 each day. And I said, okay, I don't know how long before they're going to send me my bank card. And so anyway, I said, well, how about, and then I explained, or I asked her, okay, now I can log into, their system, well, it's not their system, it's a company, but so I can log in and pay the thing, online. And she said, well, no, you have to, well, Yeah. You have to log in to the one that's already set up, that I have entered my bank, my information about myself, and my bank number. Well, that bank number is no good. It's been deleted, and I was supposed to get one in 5 to 7 days. I think this must be day 7 or maybe day 7. Darlene disagrees. She says, "Oh no, you know what it was. I don't know." But when I get the bank card, then I just can log into their site and update my account number, the new one for the bank, and then I can pay the rent with the extra charges that they're charging, which I don't consider bad. I thought it was $50 a day. Thank God it wasn't $50 a day, because it's been I don't know how many days here now. So anyway, there's also a way on the, I don't know if I can show it to you without displaying some about it. Yeah, anyway, I can log into, I signed up for it in the past, and it's a good thing I did. I can go to the post office site, and there's a thing you can click on. Now, when you sign up for it, you have to fill out information, and then then they send you a code or something, and you have to log back into the post office at some point and enter the code so they know this is. And what it does is, I can look and see what's in the mailbox for the day. And sometimes I think, depending on where your, post office is, where the distribution center is or whatever that is, it might not be as accurate. They may scan, because they're not scanning it. The mailman's not scanning it when he puts it in. He'd be all day in your mailbox, and so I think for some people, it's saying, okay, here's what's in your mailbox, but maybe it's not, because they at the distribution center. I worked there for a while, about 6 weeks, and for a couple at Christmas time, when I was in high school, I worked there in the distribution center, a gigantic place, and all the mail, the mail for California came. This was in Kansas City, Missouri. The mail for California came to Kansas City and was, sorted out and went to the various cities in. So this is a long time ago, though. But so far, when I go to check, like I just checked, and I was hoping the card would be there. Although the envelope does not say, from Wells Fargo's bank or anything like that. That approximate starts working right away. But man, I was contacted, I don't know if I mentioned or not, I was contacted by the salesman for Verizon who came. He came out to sign, to ask me if I wanted the service. I said, yes, come on in. He said, wow, we're getting invited in. Yeah, come on in. And I told him, yeah, I had it. About 6 weeks ago I had it, and it didn't work for me. So he signed me up. Anyway, he sent me and I wish that, I don't like using cell phone, what do you call that? The thing where you have to, write the little, I prefer like an email or something like that. But anyway, he called and he said, I understand you're having a problem. And I said, yes. And I explained it. He didn't call. I mean, he sent the text, And so I told him what the problem was. And the problem is that when I got the service for a few days, it was 300 down and 20 up. And I'm perfectly happy with that. And that's more than I need, actually. Although I've been paying for years for a meg down and not getting it, Not too smart, am I? So now it has dropped to it's 100 down and 10 up. And a couple people, and I agree now for sure after watching with people here that have left comments, the let's see, I should show you something else. Let's see, okay. Well, I agree with the people who watched my video, one of the previous videos, and you can, when I do the speed test, you can see the dial, you know, thing goes up to maybe 170 or something like that, but then immediately, you know, drops down. And a couple people said that's an indication of, you know, that you probably need a new cable, you know. And I got a closet full of cables. I mean a closet full, and some of them are fancy ones. I had to order one though because my 50-foot one or whatever it was, 100-foot maybe, I don't know, on the end, the entire thing was ripped off, and I don't have, and I've never used a tool like that to put one of those things, you know, one of the things that goes into the computer. So when it's going to be delivered today, I hope it gets here today, because then I'm going to do, which I actually did before. I'm going to move, which I'm getting 3 bars on this thing, and it's sitting here in my room, not in the window, in my room next to my computer. And I've got 3 bars, which is the most you can, you know, you can expect. And but I messed with that in the past. But I had a little bit here where it was like 30. And I guess what that was this Wi-Fi little chip that goes in there. And somebody told me, one of the people online here told me that I need a thing that goes into a slot, and it would be much more dependable, and then he doesn't care for those things. Actually, in my big boxes that you may have seen in the past that are filled with things, I've got, I don't know how many things with, you know, that plug in with antennas that stick up and all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have the software with it, I don't think, whatever, but I have that. But anyway, I've, let's see, did I order that? I think it's on my list. So I'm going to do that. By the way, vitamin D doesn't prevent disease for most studies. Yeah. There's so many things that Americans pay billions, if not trillions of dollars for these various products across the counter, and they don't work at all. Zero. I forget which the latest one was, something everybody used. I forget if it was Contact or whatever it was, but for years and years it's been approved, it's advertised all the time. Moms and dads, you know, give it to their kids, and that the pill or the capsule, whatever that is, does zero. It does not help you at all. Zero. They said though that the liquid or whatever does, you know, take your temperature down and help with a few of those problems. But just think of those billions of dollars that Americans have paid for products like that. Let's see. This $19 hassle-free ice box replaces your old inconvenient ice trays. We've got a little thing that sits in the kitchen, and it makes ice for us. When I was in Miami, Florida, the place that we rented, my son and my grandson and me, the refrigerator there had an ice machine, and that was really, really nice. Uh, this one you have to fill, quite often with water, of course. And but still, it's nice. Uh, Darlene, the ex-wife or whatever, she pays, part of the rent, and and she's very, she doesn't waste money the way I do. She thinks I'm crazy for buying anything for a computer or even having, although she loves her computer. And I gave her, when we got divorced, oh God, 40 years ago or whatever, I gave my kids, my 4 kids, I gave them, especially LaDonna, the oldest, I gave them a computer. And they, of course, were living, well, for a couple of years they lived with me. But, and then when Darlene was trying to make extra money with her artwork and stuff like that, I said, you should be using eBay and selling your stuff on eBay and stuff like that. And so I gave her a computer and modem and whatever she needed, I gave that to her. And she did, and she worked for years and years doing that on eBay, selling stuff on eBay. VHS tapes, she, buy, I like boxes of them from a truck or whatever, boxes of them. Then she went to DVDs and sold those. And she sold some control things for games and stuff like that, all this kind of stuff. So, and we still have some of the VHS, filling our living room. And I told her, can I throw those away, And, well, yeah. I said, never mind. Yeah, they'll just sit there in the corner. Why people who qualify should get the RSV vaccine. I don't know what the RBS. I just had one of the new well, this is a test. Let's see. For the first time, adults 60 and older are eligible to receive a vaccine against the respiratory virus, RSV. I don't know if I had it or not. It's kind of a, kind of a pain. I mean, to keep track of, because it seems like they're always saying, oh, you need the, what's the one that what is it? I really didn't know anything about that. And it's really bad. You have these, what's it called? Like lesions or whatever, or sores that pop out, and if they pop out in your eyes or close to your eyes, you'll lose your eyes, and just, it's whatever. And what was the name of it? Anyway, just a while back, not very long ago, the doctor said, oh, have you had shingles? That's it, shingles. Have you had a shingles shot? No. And said you should. And I said, okay, so I got that. And then once you get the shot, you're supposed to be protected. So we've got a whole bunch of people here in the United States, unfortunately, they're voters, who, they object to science, they object to schools, and they don't like college professors. They don't like school teachers. Even now they don't even like school teachers, saying that the school teachers, in the grade school and high schools or whatever, are teaching them stuff that's, and they object to books. They want to burn books, And for a democracy, when you have people like that, then there's a problem. When you have people who don't believe the government, who, don't believe the experts, who don't believe scientists, and who don't, and who think the earth is 5,000 years old. Wow. If you had a dictatorship, well then, that might be different. Maybe your dictatorship could survive for a while until it was overthrown or something. But when you have people who are voters, and make, they vote for, city council, and they vote for, you know, state legislators, and they vote for, for Congress, they vote for House of Representatives, and they vote for the Senate and all that kind of stuff. When you have people that are that disillusioned and who are that stupid, that's a mess. It wouldn't be if you had a democracy and you had smart people. And now you don't have to be, don't have to be a genius or anything. If you just have common sense and some compassion and some understanding and caring about people, then your democracy may, survive like ours has so far, except it just about failed, in the last election. We just about had, the former president of the United States, Trump, overthrow our government, and then he would have been, and he is stupid, very stupid. And he, could you have somebody who was, stupid in a dictatorship? And yeah, maybe you could. I don't know. Looking back on history, I don't. But but we just about lost our country, and we still have that man. He has 90. I think it's 95 felony charges against him, not from one court someplace, but from four or five courts, and he still has a tremendous following, and the government just can't work well that way. Anyway, naproxen helped with the pain a lot. Let's see. I'm going to stop this for a second, because right now, after having been hacked, I'm going to pause this for a second. I want to look up something. Okay, this is the device that Wi-Fi unit that's been recommended to me. I don't think I've ordered it. I guess I will today. I've got some of, some of the things like this are in my junk box. So I need to order this. Let's see, orders. Oh, coming today. Thing which I've mentioned for underneath this office chair, if you can call it an office chair. Because I've had this thing for a long time. Finally, it's worn through in a couple of places, so I'll be trying to. It didn't hit it. I think it did. Yeah, it did hit it. So today I'll get that replaced, and it's just a matter of putting it down on the floor, Okay, this is a 50 foot of cable that I've got coming. This is a skillet that Darlene wants, and that's coming tomorrow. Like I think I've told you before. I know I've told you before. The dining room is her bedroom and her TV room or whatever, and the kitchen is like her domain. I let her, she's in charge of it, and she's in charge of ordering the food. She asks, what do we want and stuff, and we tell her. And then, of course, the kitchen is hers, and then in the living room, it's a disaster area because things are put in there. Like Hillary, when we lost the power, after we lost the power, back when the cold weather hit, and over 100 people died here in Texas because of the Texas electrical grid system, which has been politicized and has people that are, on it or whatever who are pocketing money and stuff and making bad decisions, making decisions based on how much, money am I going to get in, and putting off things, But anyway, Darlene she doesn't like to spend money. Which I love spending money, but I don't have any, but I love spending it. If you have too much money, send it to me and I'll spend it for you. Well, not for you, because I'm not going to send you any of this stuff, But anyway, she has, in the kitchen, there isn't a vacant spot for anything. She has things on it. Cooking type things or whatever, bags of potato chips that, like when I'm having chips, and dip or whatever, when I get down to where at the bottom of the sack, that's pieces of the chips that there's just, it's like not much there. And I don't like taking a little piece of a chip and dipping it into, taking the chip and dipping it in, And so when it gets down, I just take it in, and she likes potato chips, and I got some chips for you, that type of stuff. But those bags will be sitting there, and other stuff that'll be sitting there for a long time that should, just throw it away, throw it away, Okay, so, but anyway, she has a whole bunch of, and I have a whole bunch of things which are not being used at all that are up above in the kitchen where nobody can get, you can get to them with a ladder. Different types of cooking machines. Where was my, there it is. By the way, a company sent me a air, whatever it is, what is it, air? To review. They sent it to me for free, and I'm going to do reviews of it. I'm actually going to cook let's see here. Oh, this is my appointment thing. Yeah, for my eyes. And the office is going to be closed on Monday here for the apartment complex. Wait a minute, I'm getting 50 foot today, aren't I? Wait a minute here. Yeah, I'm getting 50 foot today. And tomorrow I'm getting another 50 foot of cable. I've got a Samsung cell phone, and the charger that comes with it, the cable, I mean, it's nice, but the cable is 10 foot. And so I have to be careful that it doesn't, I don't want to have it hanging down and it might kick my, thing off or whatever. So, in fact, I think if you watched the video, you saw me, I ordered in one that has, I think, 5 foot, whatever, just to have, just so I don't have a, here's this gaming headset that I ordered, and it's here. This microphone, like I said, is fee-fine, the one that I'm using now. And this is their headset. And this has actually worked out better than I thought it would. I'm not having, problem being out of range too much. But I was just thinking, with the headset, I'd have some more freedom. I think this gets 4.5 stars. No, just 4 stars. I forget what some of the people who, didn't give it 5 stars, what they said. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second because if I show you the tracking, it gives my address and on there. So anyway, I'll be right back. Don't touch the mouse. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, none of the items, on the thing where it shows, they're out, but they're not in where it goes into the tracking, mode. So they're going to be here, I guess, later this afternoon or tonight. I wanted to get that 50-foot of cable so I could start doing this project. Anyway, I guess that's all for now. Thanks very much for watching.